Hey everybody, recording from 2 a.m. here. This is Southside, and welcome to another episode of South's Rundown. So, as usual, with the existence of a South's Rundown, obviously, this means that I will be confirming that I will not be able to cover the final day of Stage 2 of the Babani Pro League live. So, mainly because currently as you can see, I'm currently in a different place right now. So I would be quite busy tomorrow, unfortunately, just because have to. Basically, it's just like I have to attend to some things on the day. I was really looking forward to covering the final match before we reach the quarterfinals and the semifinals, but things probably isn't coming to be. So as always, I'll probably just give you the rundown and all the things that might happen in the quarterfinals and semifinals, and just my general predictions as usual. Sorry for a very awkward kind of talk here, but I guess I'm gonna transition to the stream layout. And yes, we are here at the stream layout. So this is gonna be the final week of the group stage. This is the last week of the second stage. It's gonna be Team Silcat versus Leisureland and Apina Range versus Gigo. So this is gonna be basically the if you've noticed, this is basically the entire schedule of season. No, the entire schedule of the second stage is basically the first stage but reversed. So Silcat versus Leisureland and Apina Range versus Gigo were the second and the first matches respectively in the first round. It's interesting. We started with these four teams and we're gonna book it with these four teams. But unfortunately, we already know the fate of two of them. Team Leisureland will be eliminated, and also Team Gigo will be eliminated. So they are confirmed eliminated by last week and 2 weeks ago too. So this is more just they're gonna compete, and they might potentially disrupt the final seedings of the tournament because Silcat and Apina Vrames have been confirmed to be joining the postseason, but their results in the match here would definitely will determine whether they will get a straight bye to the semifinals or will they have to compete in the quarterfinals against the teams in the other league. So we're probably gonna start with the first match here, Silcat versus Leisureland. So Leisureland had a pretty miserable season, I would say. Went on a 4-game losing streak, and that 4-game losing streak basically did them in because no one in the BPL season had that bad of a losing streak. They managed to win one with Game Panic, but they were stuck in a position where even if they sweep, I believe, yeah, even if they sweep Silcat or something, they would still lose. They would still like no, I think they could potentially just tie the last team. Wait, no, yeah, I think no, they need the victory of about 11 points or more, which doesn't seem very likely with current Silcat. Very strong. We saw some cracks in the Silcat team, but I still contend that Leisureland probably won't be able to pull it off. And the thing about oh yeah, Game Panic won their final match against round one. So there was like the theory if Game Panic lost very badly, Leisureland would have been able to catch up, but I think by this point it's way too late now. By that point, and no, but because Game Panic won, Leisureland are just officially out. So this is gonna be just trying to see if what can Silcat get for the final day. So we're gonna break down the three matches first, and I'll probably talk about what's gonna happen to potentially to Silcat. So 8 to 10 Softland Velvet versus Unamune. So I think this match is just basically gonna be Velvet. This is a kind of a rematch because Unamune and Velvet have faced each other before in the same category and the same level range. This was when Velvet was part of Supernova Tohoku in season 2. And I believe it was just basically like I remember that Velvet won one song, which was Era. I forgot if he basically swept this match. But Una Mune, since this is 8 to 10 Softland, we're definitely, almost definitely going to see him pick OP31 Jojo. He is the one of the best people at playing JoJo. So we're probably gonna see that being picked by him because it doesn't really matter what Leisureland picks anymore. They can literally just pick anything that they want now because I think by this recording they already knew that they've been eliminated. So and then for Velvet, I do think because Silcat want to score as much points as they can, they're probably gonna go with a similar pick or maybe just something kind of in that range. You can pick Era again, but I think with knowing that Unamune would likely select Jojo, we can probably assume that this is gonna be like at least a draw, unless we see Velvet really really like perform well on Jojo, to hopefully get like his first like proper victory of the season because he's been all draws and his record in season 3 has kind of been a stark contrast to his record in season 2. But season 2 I would argue he had easier opponents overall. Meanwhile in season 3 he just had Peace, Yutaka, Ipin. Very very difficult list. I would say Unamune is like the first player that's considered probably not as good as him. So anyway, points are very important, but I could see this going one to one. Second match will be Seiryu versus Ipin, level 11 charge. Kind of hard to say here because like the one thing that we know about Seiryu was that he was not good, particularly that great at like songs below level 12, and I would say that Ipin is a more well-rounded player within this level range, but Seiryu came out with a amazing victory against Dinosaur from Team Leisureland, which was very very surprising in the first match, and this victory that Seiryu got in the first match basically sealed them their first win. So we're gonna see if Seiryu can pull out his own like basically like the best basically like his own best outcome here. So with how he has been much better at low levels, I could see it going Seiryu's way too, maybe a 2-0 because Ipin can be wildly inconsistent. He could be one of the best. He could be one of the best like players in one song, and then just like suddenly like choke in one of the other songs, and could just end up with a draw. So like, but I do still think Ipin has the edge here because he's just more well proven in probably the lower level range, much more than Seiryu. But I do hope that we can see Seiryu like pull out something. Could be a 1-1, but like I also feel like the occurrences of Ipin winning over Seiryu is still a bit higher, and then maybe a tie, and then after that Seiryu winning 2-0. But they're not that far apart. It's like maybe like maybe these outcomes aren't very far from each other. So I basically feel like it could go either way. And this is gonna be the final match for this match. So this is gonna be level 12 charge, Licked versus Dinosaur. So Dinosaur, really really bad season. He went from, I would say, one of the most efficient players in season 2 to unfortunately like not being able to convert any of his appearances into meaningful points. He managed to get his first points in the previous match against Team Game Panic against Bikamo, and this is gonna be so. And meanwhile, Silcat has this new factor of Licked. Licked crushed the season pretty early on. Then he met his match against Naga-chan from round 1, where he actually went from 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, then he went 0-2. So yeah, we thought so yeah, but this is gonna be the first match we're gonna see Licked playing 12s, and as far as I know, he has extremely good density. He is the 6KC winner for good reason, and Dinosaur's Dinosaur's one thing is that he's really good at timing, but I don't really think he has that much of an edge with density. If you pick something absolutely like shit crushing, like maybe an S tier 12, it will probably like be a big problem for him. And for Licht, but Licht has kind of been out of the competitive game for a while. We know that he he was like one of the best when he was extremely active at his peak, but now it's a bit suspect if he can probably pull off the same. But he has been putting in the hours, like I mentioned in previous streams. So hopefully this is gonna be a Licht advantage. I do feel like it could be another like 3-3 match, but if Licht pulls out all the stops and sweeps Dinosaur, that's gonna put Silcat in a very favorable position. So I'm gonna probably mention it here since we have the leaderboards right here. So currently, round one is first place, and Game Panic is second place, and Laserland is currently last. So Laserland is not really a factor here, but the match between Silcat really just determines um, their fate. So in the event that Silcat draws with Laserland, so they go 6-6, they're gonna move up a seed because they're gonna have more overall points. They're gonna have 10 to 9 points, so they're gonna be the second seed. But that puts them in the road of Taito Station Trends, who have confirmed to have received the third seed of the opposite league. I wouldn't say that's an ideal outcome, knowing that players like Rio, Hachishaku, and KKM are there. Not discrediting Raito, but it's gonna be. But I think those three are the bigger threats within this BPL so far. So I would think that drawing is really not in their books. Meanwhile, if Silcat loses against Laserland, they're going to just stay at the third seed. So their opponents either become Apina Frames or Supernova Tohoku. Surprisingly enough, I feel like if they do get Tohoku, that's probably their their best potential match if you have to face their best potential match if you have to actually fight in the quarterfinals. And if they just straight up win against Laserland by about 8 points, I believe, yes, because round one is currently 7 points above them. If they manage to win by 8 points, which means like Seiryu sweeps his match, which probably requires either Seiryu or Lick to sweep to do a sweep, they're gonna be the first seed, and that's gonna guarantee them a bye to the semifinals. So they'll be safe till the semis. So this is gonna be pretty important. This match is very important to see where Silcat goes, and actually it will also affect where everyone else goes because the second seed here the second place team in the W League will face Taito Station Trans, and that's a pretty dangerous team to go against, especially with KKM, Rio, Hachishaku, and Raido. So basically, if Silcat tie, they're gonna be those facing Treads. If Silcat loses, Game Panic is gonna be the one facing Treads, and if Silcat wins by about 8 points, they will be facing. Silcat wins by about 8 points. Round one will be facing Treads, and we will get the Yutaka and KKM match relatively early. But keep in mind, if Silcat wins by 7 points, which means that they've just barely win, that I believe that's not gonna be enough, and I think it's gonna have to go to. I forgot what it was determined with, but the worst case scenario is coin toss is gonna a coin toss is probably gonna determine their fate here. So that's gonna be how the Silcat and Laserland match is. We can probably transition to the next match. This is good, and the last match here is gonna be pretty important, just like the previous match. So this is gonna be like yeah, it's gonna be as important as the previous match because it's gonna determine seedings for the team placed higher, and it also involves a team that has been eliminated. So Apina Braves versus Gigo. Gigo has been eliminated, unfortunately, due to Taito Station Trans' victory in the previous match. If they would have tied, I believe Gigo could have still went for the seed itself, but Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen this time. Meanwhile, Alpina Braves, they had a very very solid first stage, swept the entire first stage, but like completely, like I wouldn't say it completely fall apart, but had a really really relatively bad second stage, because I believe the first match they kind of just accepted a loss by putting Kentan against KKM. But the second match they lost against Supernova Tohoku, which put them in a prone position not even finish to not even finish the qualifying stages without like a bye to the semifinals, despite having such a strong start. So they're gonna try to make it up right here. If Apina just wins, if Apina wins, they basically just wins or ties. They basically wins or ties. They are confirmed to be in the semis. So this is gonna be a bit less painful compared to what Silcat has to go through, but still, there is nothing more scary than a team that has nothing left to lose, and that's Team Gigo. So their song picks might be really really unpredictable. So this is gonna be something that we're gonna have to consider while the match is being while we're seeing the match. So gonna begin with 8 to 10 peak. Chappie versus Nuccio. Nuccio appeared in all the three main matches the first stage and unfortunately couldn't convert any single of his appearances into a victory for Team Gigo. But now he has the last of his cost back and he's back for the last match to hopefully get some points up to defeat Chappie. Chappie has had a really really good season so far too. He really really is good at low levels and songs that he is specifically good at, and actually is a pretty big contributing factor to Apina's like victories within the first stage. So this is gonna be pretty interesting seeing a rising competitive star, a low level specialist against a more general kind of player in Nuccio, who had some heroics in season 2, but we haven't unfortunately seen that in season 3 so far. Well, this is going to be Nuccio's last chance to possibly try and sweep a match to go on a high note. But Chappie's definitely not going to make that easy for him. So this is going to be something to watch too. The second match is going to be 11 chord, Uchi versus CyberX. Uchi has had a pretty good season. He unfortunately stumbled in the Tohoku match. He lost Angelic Jelly against Tatsu, and I would say that potentially like costed the team the match, because it was kind of expected that Uchi should have defeated Tatsu, especially with how strong of a how much of a Swiss Army knife he is. But Tatsu was just crazy this season. He's just pulled out some crazy heroics, beating Rio, then tying with Uchi, which had helped Tohoku secure the win too. I do believe, and then he's going to be facing on CyberX, who has a pretty middling season, I would say. I don't remember him having a match where he just swept it, but he's had equal footing matchups against Rio from Trads, which is pretty impressive in his own right. But I do think in this section, Uchi is much more stronger than Rio is currently, and he is just basically so well rounded that I kind of doubt that CyberX could convert any of his appearances, any song against Uchi. I'm not ruling it out, but I do think Uchi has the advantage here, 4-0. And in the first match, I do think it could either lean to Nuccio or maybe just tie between Chappie and Nuccio. So, but the middle match, I do think it's gonna just be straight up Uchi sweeping both. He's just too good of a player now, too well rounded. Can't even like cross it out basically. And then we can transition the final match: Willow versus Corriver in level 12 scratch. So really a team with nothing to lose, and Corrive here is one of the scratch experts within this BPL. So this is actually kind of scary for Pina Brains, because Willow is good at scratching. But overall, I would think that Corvée is just considerably higher than Willow, but this is gonna be where the song pick really determines it all, because like in the 12 scratch pool there are some scratch songs that are not really scratch songs that I would say they have some hard scratching sections, but I would say that there if some of these songs were picked, some of them would definitely be to Willow's advantage. I don't remember the list off the top of my head, but me and Nagisa in the previous stream discussed. But you know, there's some stuff like I was talking about double dribble. I was thinking about some charts which are just more button heavy. We we considered that it could be what Willow picks, and he could totally just beat Corriver here. But Corriver definitely has his own picks, and it's very likely that he will win his. So I do kind of see that this is gonna be where it's gonna be. Yeah, this is definitely where it's gonna be a bit confusing to think about. This is gonna be is because the likelihood of Corribe taking 6-0 is higher than Willow taking 6-0, but the likelihood of them tying their match is I think higher than an outright sweep. So this is definitely gonna be a match to watch. And Corribe said that he's gonna be picking a song in the stream, and he picked a song that he's always wanted to play, which is interesting. He just basically alluded to his own song pick in the upcoming stream. So this is gonna be definitely interesting to see play out. Again, if Apina Vrames wants to get a straight bye to the semis, they're gonna have to either win or tie. A tie even gets them because they're gonna have equal amounts of points, equal amounts of match points, equal amounts of just like total match points as Supernova Toku, but they're gonna have like higher individual points. So that's gonna be like 40 over 38 on the rightmost side. They'll automatically put them in first seed. If they lose against Gigo, they're confirmed for second place. Gigo have been eliminated, so even a win here wouldn't really change anything for them. So basically, we're just gonna see if Apina or Supernova Tohoku will be the team that goes straight to the semis, we're gonna see who's gonna face off against the third seed in the W League. So this is a very important match day to keep out for, despite having two eliminated teams. And I would really encourage you, if you reached here, to give it a watch. The quarterfinals and semifinals, I believe it will be commentated in a Red Bull designated like building. So I'm actually not sure whether they're going to stream the quarterfinals and the semifinals for free in YouTube, like what they usually do before. I hope that they will do so. I believe like even if it's like restricted in some form, it will be streamed for free at a later date. But I do hope that it's probably just the finals as usual, and the quarterfinals and the semifinals won't be like nickel and dimed or something like that. So yeah, this is gonna be my personal assessment of the final day. I'm really sad that I won't be at liberty to cover it, but sometimes things just happen. So this is gonna be probably it for me. I'm gonna move to the other screen now, and yeah, thank you so much for watching this video all the way. I hope you've been enjoying the BPL season 3 so far. I think it's been the most exciting season so far. I know every season I'll probably say this, but for this I do genuinely believe that it's the craziest season we've had so far. So many losses that we didn't expect. So many like things we never saw expected. I never thought I would see Leisureland go from from runners up to just straight to the bottom. And I didn't really expect to see teams who I thought would dominate like Taiyose Hitreds be in the contentious third seed, but UV Sports, I guess. So so I guess I could probably conclude this first. I will and I hope you enjoy the stream. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead. Take care.